Hey everyone, welcome into August of 1998. We got a big busy month ahead of us here. We got a lot of chopping to do, a lot of alfalfa to get mowed, and of course, as always, chores. So we're going to start out getting our chores done. We've got 5 loads of feed we got to get hauled to all of our cattle. We need to haul a little bit of feed to our pigs, and we have new baby pigs that were born last month. So very excited about that. They're not going to be ready to be moved yet. We got another month before they can be moved into the big barn. But yeah, everything's very exciting here. And as you can see, we have 209 head of cattle up here in our dairy barn. This is, yeah, definitely more cattle than I ever thought we'd have in this series. And I'm very excited for it. It's awesome seeing this pen this filled up. And yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. So we'll go ahead and get all of our chores done, get our milk sold, and then we need to get into doing some chopping, and also we need to get our alfalfa mowed. So plenty of work for us to get done this month. We don't have any animals to sell yet, but we will have animals to sell next month. So I'm going to go ahead and hammer out these chores, and I'll catch up to you guys when we're ready to get our milk sold. All right, we've got 5,965 gallons on. So we'll run this down to the creamery, get it sold off, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. And we need to add $400. So that brings us up to $147,438. And I was wrong. I do have some cattle that need to be sold this month. So we're going to head back to the home place and hook up to the stock trailer and get a few of the Holsteins loaded up so we can get them sold off this month. All right, we've got 6 head loaded up here on the trailer. We'll get these guys run down to the sale barn, get them sold off, and adjust our price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the sale barn, so we'll go ahead and get these 6 head sold off. All right, and we need to take $13,486 off. So that brings us to $152,605. Not too bad for, only 6 head. So now it's time to head back to the home place, and we need to get ready to start chopping. We got a lot of silage we need to get chopped this month. So we're going to get to it, and we also have baling to do. So we've got a very, very busy month ahead of us yet. All right, we are ready to start chopping. Got everything set up, and I even have a worker in our swather mowing down our alfalfa. So we're going to hammer out a whole bunch of work here really, really fast. And I'm definitely very, very excited for it here. This new chopper is definitely going to make this go significantly quicker than we've ever done chopping before. And I'm very excited for that. Now we need to have a whole lot of chopping we got to get done. We went through almost every bit of our silage that we chopped last year. So that means we're going to need to chop even more this year. So pretty excited for it though. We've got a lot of corn acres, so even after doing all of this chopping that we're going to do, we'll still have plenty of corn to harvest and sell off as grain this year. So I'll go ahead, hammer out a few of these loads, and I'll catch up to you guys here in a little bit. All right, this is our 4th truckload of chaff that we're getting hauled over here into our silo, and things are going very well. We haven't even made it one pass around the field yet. This is going extremely fast compared to previous years. We're covering way more ground, and we're not going to be making as many passes around the field as we have in the past, just because of how big the header is and how much ground that new chopper actually covers. So this is fantastic. It's 9:30 in the morning. We're going to be done chopping silage by probably 11, if not a little earlier. So I'm very, very happy with this. And up here, you can see making pretty good progress in our alfalfa field. So got a few more passes left to go up there, and that field will be done and we can move them into the next field. So yeah, all in all, this morning is going absolutely fantastic, and I'm just very happy with the state of the farm and how everything is going. So I will catch up to you guys here in a little bit. All right, well, things are trucking right along. Our worker is done in the first alfalfa field, just got them moved over into the second one, and we're trucking right along with our chopping here. We've got a few more loads to go. I honestly kind of lost count of where we're at. But just like last year, we're going to fill our small silo. And this year, I'm going to put 2, maybe 3 loads into our second silo. And that should be more than enough to get us through one more year at least. And yeah, next year, we're going to chop even more. So things are going quite well. I'm happy with where we're at. As long as I can get turned around without destroying my corn here. There we go. So yeah, everything is going like really, really well this year. It's crazy how bumping up size and equipment not only, you know, speeds things up, but honestly, I seem to be avoiding a lot of problems and issues that I used to have because the equipment was small and, amazingly enough, kind of harder to maneuver around the fields. So yeah, all in all, things are going very, very well here. So I'll I'll check back in with you guys when we get our chopping done here. All right, and with this last load, we are officially done chopping our silage. Things went really, really well. It's 10:39 in the morning, and we're done. I can't believe we're done that fast. This is crazy how fast this went, and I just said fast like 100 times. So, our mower is still going. Our worker has not finished mowing our alfalfa. They're, I think, about halfway done with the second alfalfa field. So we'll go ahead and get all of our silage equipment cleaned up, put away, maintenanced, and we'll grab the 856 here, put it on the rake, and start raking in our first alfalfa field so we can get it prepped and ready to be baled. All right, we've got our first field all mowed and raked, and we're moving into the second field with the rake here. And either our worker has just finished or they're about to finish getting this field mowed. So it's 11:30. This is going extremely fast, just like our chopping did. Now, it definitely will slow down when we start baling. Baling is going to take probably 3 hours, would be my guess, especially with this field yielding what or at least I'm expecting this field to yield pretty good. Definitely a lot higher than it did in the spring, as this had a full growth. As this did have a full growth period to it, unlike earlier in the spring where it only grew for 2 months. So yeah, I can't wait to see how many bales we actually get off this field. But first, we have got to get it all raked up and tedded and turned into dry alfalfa. All right, we got all of our raking done, so we'll go ahead and get this baler fired up, get it dropped down, and we can start baling up all of our alfalfa here. Now, I do have the bale counter reset, so I can't wait to see how many bales we actually end up with here. All right, we're coming up to the end here on our first alfalfa field, and we've got exactly 200 bales. So very, very happy with that. About what it's really honestly about what I expected. So we'll head back to the home place here, and I need to reload up with some round bale net again. We've already loaded 3 times, and then we can head into the home north field and start baling up all of that alfalfa. Now I'm really, really hoping for, significantly more bales than we got earlier this spring. So I'm very excited to see, what we end up with getting out of it. But I'm going to go ahead, reload with the round bale net, get started in that field, and I'll catch up to you guys here in a little bit and see how things are going. All right, we're about halfway through this field and we're sitting at 357 bales so far. So that means we've made 157 off this field and we've still got, like I said, about half of it to go. So yeah, we're getting a significantly better yield than we had in the spring, and that is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm very, very happy with the choice we made to turn this into an alfalfa field. Now, the round baler is starting to become, honestly, maybe a bit of a problem. It's going really, really slow right now, trying to get all of these bales done. So I may be looking into changing over to a large round or a large square baler instead of the large round baler, just so that we're not stopping every time I gotta push a bale out. That way we can keep going. I'm guessing it would probably save me an hour, maybe a little more, for doing the baling. So that's something I'm gonna have to look into. But for now, I'm still very, very happy with where we're at and how many bales we're getting. And I think this is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to go ahead, finish this up. All right, we're coming up here on the end, finally, for baling. It's 3:15 in the afternoon. This took way longer than I thought it would. And we ended up with way more bales than I thought we would. We're currently at 469. I don't know if we'll get enough for one more. And no, we will not. So yeah, 469 bales total. That means we got 269 bales off of our home north field. That's absolutely fantastic. I'm very, very happy with where we're at there. So we're going to go ahead and get all of these bales picked up and get both of these fields covered in manure. That way they are ready for next spring. So I will catch up to you guys probably next month. Hey everyone, welcome into September. We're starting the morning out doing our chores as always, but we have a lot to do this month. We have cattle that need to be moved out of basically every pen. We have cattle that need to be sold. We have hogs that need to be moved. We have milk that needs to be sold. So there's plenty to keep us busy for the next few hours anyway. And I guess also hog feed that needs to be hauled as well. So we're going to go ahead and get these chores hammered out quick. And then I'm going to get into moving cattle around. And once we're done with that, we'll go ahead and sell off some cattle. And then we'll finish the month off by moving and feeding our hogs. All right, we're going to sell off our milk next. And we've got 7,489 gallons on. So we'll get this run down to the creamery, get it sold off, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. And we need to take $1,200 off. So that puts us at $150,340. So we're going to head back to the home place, drop this milk trailer, hook up to the bull rack, I believe. I got to see how many cattle we actually have to sell. But we do have Herefords that are ready, and we got a couple Holsteins that are also ready, so I'll see if they can fit in the stock trailer. If not, we'll have to get the bull rack and haul them down to the sale barn with that. All right, we've got all of our fat cattle that we're selling this month loaded up here. We've got 8 Herefords and 1 Holstein that we're selling off this month. We got a few more Holsteins that'll be ready here in another, 3-4 months, but for now we just have the one. So we'll get all of these guys hauled down to the sale barn and get them sold off. All right, we're down here at the sale barn, so we'll go ahead and get these guys sold off. And we need to take $19,172 off. So that brings us to $157,940. So we're going to head back to the home place, get some cattle moved around from the other pens, and then we'll move on to getting our hogs moved over into the other barn and also getting them fed this month. All right, we've got all of our cattle moved, and we're now ready to start feeding our pigs. So we'll go ahead and get this auger out here. And there we go. For whatever reason, I am super disappointed that you can't actually dump in the bin. You have to dump on the outside of it. Yeah, super disappointed in that. This would have been awesome to be able to actually dump inside the bin. But every time I go up that high, we evidently come out of the trigger, and it's very disappointing. So I'm not sure how long I'll actually use this trailer, but we're going to use it for today at least. So we've got to get a couple loads into this barn, and I'm going to put about 3 loads in the other barn. And then we'll go ahead and switch over to the bull rack and move the pigs over into the other barn that are ready to be moved. Well, I guess it's just not meant to be. I think I have too many animals at this point. Every time I try and load the trailer or unload the trailer, the game is freezing. It's only in the animal menu that I'm having that issue. So I'm going to go ahead and try and sell off these hogs, see if that fixes this issue. And we're just going to have to stick with cattle. I'm, fairly disappointed here, but I'll just take whatever money I make off the hogs and selling the buildings and use that to pay off, a big chunk of our loan. I have to say, I am very disappointed. So we'll see if this works. If it does, that sucks, but I guess I found my animal limit. All right, well, I sold off all the hogs, sold off both of the hog barns, and this fall we'll go ahead and expand this over into more crop ground. So far, now that I've sold all the hogs, I haven't had any problems getting into the animal menus. So I do believe that was my issue. I just had too many animals on the farm, and that's, okay. We've been a cattle farm basically this entire series, so we'll just go ahead and stick with our cattle. And yeah, evidently there is a hog limit, and I reached it. So we'll go ahead and call this it for the month. I did take all the money that I made from it, just paid that down on our loan. Really doesn't make much of a difference. We still owe over $1 million, so definitely not going to, get that money paid off this series, but that's okay. Still having fun anyway, and our cattle are honestly where it's at anyway. So yeah, I will see you guys in October when we are ready to do our cattle chores and finally start our harvest. Welcome into October, everyone. It's an exciting month. We get to start our harvest this month, and well, after the fiasco of last month and the hogs, I'm just excited to get back to a little bit of normalcy here. And yeah, everybody loves to harvest. It is, well, my second favorite thing to do in the game. Selling is by far my first favorite thing to do, but harvesting is a close second. And you can see we're up to 242 animals up here in our dairy barn. My goodness, there are so many cattle up here. And I do believe that is part of why we had such an issue with our hogs. I'm running the realistic livestock mod, and I have it set to show, I think, 200 animals in a lot. So yeah, that's a lot of animals for my PC to try and, render out. And as far as being on the map, it all worked out fine. It was just in the animal menu, I was having issues. But you can see there's just a crazy amount of cattle out here of all different ages and sizes, and it's absolutely wonderful. So we will have a few head that we need to move out of this barn this month, but we're going to worry about that later on. First things first, we need to get all of our chores done, get all of these cattle fed, get our milk sold, and then I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into harvest, and we'll save moving any of the cattle for the last thing we do today. All right, we've got a full trailer load, so we've got 8,443 gallons on. So we'll get this run down to the creamery, get it sold off, and adjust our price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. All right, and we need to take $330 off. So that puts us at $158,766. That is absolutely wonderful. So we're going to run back to the home place and get everything prepped and ready for harvest. All right, we have officially started our harvest. We've got both of our combines rolling out here, and we're starting as far away from the home place as we can, and we're going to move our way back as we move from field to field here. So we're going to do both of our bean fields, move back to the home place where all of our corn is, and then finish up with that corn. And I'm super excited for this. No idea how many beans we're going to get. No idea how much corn we're going to get, but I got a feeling it's going to be a good amount of beans and a crazy amount of corn. So I'm very excited, and I'm definitely happy to be here for it. We've got the 8950 hooked up to our Kinsey 1050 grain cart. So I will catch up to you guys when we get our first semi-load out of this field. All right, well, believe it or not, it's been an hour and a half, and we've made it nowhere. If you can tell, we have different combines. I don't know why, but the 2388s that I bought combined great. However, they wouldn't unload. I changed grain carts, went to base game grain carts, tried 7 different ones. None of them worked. Could not get the combine to stick stick its pipe out to unload. And my God, what a disaster it's been. So, looks like we're having a disaster over here as well. Well, maybe they'll figure it out. Okay. So, I've bought 2 2188s. And that's what we're going to roll with. And I installed the real speed limit mod to speed them up because I just don't have time to do a 12 or 15 hour harvest. So we're running them at 12 mile an hour right now. Just basic, still their 10,000 liter capacity. No big deal there. Just going to be running a little faster through this harvest and the rest of the series. I debated on just bumping up to one of the big combines, that's in base game, but I didn't like that. At least not for this 90 series. I feel bad enough running this real speed limit mod in this series, but it just is what it is. People put mods out that aren't finished, aren't ready, and this is one of the headaches you got to deal with. So we're going to go ahead and get this harvest going. Now, being able to run 12 mile an hour, it's obviously twice as fast. I could bump them all the way up to 16, but I feel like that's really pushing it. So we're going to roll at 12 mile an hour, see how it goes. Now, I do have to buy new corn headers yet because the pipe on these combines is shorter, and it won't reach, or at least I don't believe it'll reach. I'll have to double check. If it will reach, then I will back it back down to 6 mile an hour, keep it a little bit more realistic, but at this point, it is getting very difficult to keep this series realistic, just due to lack of equipment availability, I guess would be the best way to put it. So we're going to keep hammering along here, and hopefully this field does not take very long since we are running 12 mile an hour. All right, and we officially have our first semi-load of the 1998 harvest. It's very exciting. It took us a while to get here, even though, the clock doesn't really show that. But it's an exciting moment. And this is the first time we get to use our new bin site, which is very, very exciting. And hopefully all goes well and everything works as it should. All right, getting pulled in here to our home place. And we'll go ahead and get this trailer unloaded for the first time in our brand new bin site. And this thing is so much bigger than what you realize. This thing is absolutely ginormous. All right, now we'll head back to the field, and there's absolutely no shot that we're going to be able to keep up with the combines being that far away, so they will be sitting and waiting, which honestly is a nice thing. It's kind of nice for them to be waiting on me instead of me waiting on them, like it has been for the first, 8 years of this series. All right, we have our first field done, and we've got everything moved over into our second bean field to get it opened up. And this is truckload number 4. We're not quite full. We're at 96%. I'm really happy with that. I did not expect to get that many beans off that field. So that is absolutely fantastic. But we're going to hurry up, get this unloaded, and try and make sure we get back to the field before the combines fill up. We're a little bit closer to the home place now, and I have them running a little bit slower to run the headlands. Hopefully there's no issues. So hopefully everything goes well and we get caught up before they get full. All right, we are officially done combining our beans. We've got this full semi-load here, and we've got a grain cart that's pretty close to full. It's over, I don't know, 86, 87% full, and the combines are empty. So we're going to go ahead and get all of these beans hauled back to the home place here, get them thrown in our into a bin, and then we're going to get the combines pulled back to the home place here, and we're going to start combining our corn here in the home place field. Now, beans went very, very quickly. Having that speed, that real speed limit definitely makes a difference. Very happy with being able to record a lot faster here. So very, very happy with that. But it does feel a little off. So I'll see how the corn's going. May bump the corn back a little bit, or the combine speed down a little bit for the corn. We'll just have to play it by ear. But so far, pretty happy with where we're at as far as the harvest is going. But I did end up with less beans than I thought I would. So a little disappointed in that. But I do believe this corn harvest will more than make up for it. So I will catch up to you guys here in just a bit when we get all of the equipment back to the home place here and get ready to start combining our corn. All right, we are officially rolling in the cornfield. Very, very excited for this. And boy, do we have a lot of corn to get combined here. So we're going to get to it. And I can't wait to see how much corn we actually get off this field and off the other huge field over here at our home place. All right, well, we are absolutely flying through this field, and I did have to slow the combines down. They were trucking along way too fast at 12 mile an hour, and I just couldn't even remotely keep up. So things are going very well. Like I said, we're about halfway through this field. And yeah, I bumped them back down to 9 mile an hour just to make sure that I could kind of keep up. I'm still not keeping up very well, but 9 mile an hour is definitely better than 12. That is for sure. So very excited about how this field is going. No idea how many semi-loads I've gotten off this field. It's been quite a few, and definitely not going to be near as many as the next field. The next field is going to be absolutely crazy. All right, we have finished combining the home place field here, and we're getting ready to head to the south field. Now, where our yield is way, way down. We've only got 401,495 liters off of the home place field. That yield is way, way down from what we got last year, and our grand total for soybeans was 315,545. So down a little bit on soybeans, way down on corn so far. Let's really, really hope that the south field has a significantly better yield. Otherwise, I'm going to end up being, slightly disappointed in this harvest. All right, our harvest is officially finished. It is almost 6 o'clock at night. That took a long time to get that field done. And boy, it did not disappoint one bit. We are now at 1,129,947 liters of corn. That is absolutely bonkers. Did not expect that. I was, definitely disappointed in the yield for the home place, but that south field more than made up for it. Holy cow. So, we are officially done with the month of October. We have not done any of our baling yet, and we have a ridiculous amount of bales to pick up, or, well, to make, to be honest. We haven't even made any yet. So, yeah, we have just a crazy amount of bales that we need to make yet for our stock bales. We'll have to get those all picked up, and yeah, next month is going to be a very, very busy month. So I will see you guys in November. Hey everyone, welcome into November. Last month was a very exciting month getting our harvest done, and this month is going to be a very busy month getting fertilizing done, getting lime done, getting all of our stocks baled up, hauling milk, which is going to be kind of crazy going forward here, especially throughout this winter. So as we get out here and take a look, we've got 253 head currently in this barn. Now we've got quite a few that we do need to get moved out of here and moved down into our yearling pen. So that number will go down a little bit this month, but yeah, there's a crazy amount of cows out in this pasture, and it's, very exciting. But we've got 4, maybe 5 loads of feed we got to get hauled here. So I'm going to knock that out, and I'll catch up to you guys when we're ready to sell our crazy amount of milk. All right, we've got 8,443 gallons on, and this is load number 1 of 2 for our milk. So we're now to the point where a full semi-trailer is not enough, or does not have enough capacity for the amount of milk that we're now producing. But regardless, we'll get this run down to the creamery, get this sold off, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. And we need to add $900. So that brings us to $155,122. And now we're going to head back to the home place, reload, and bring the rest of our milk down here to get it sold off as well. All right, we're back down here at the creamery, and we've got 3,508 gallons on. So we'll go ahead and get this sold off as well. And we need to add $425. So that brings us up to $164,604. That is absolutely incredible. I'm super, super happy with that milk sale. So now we're going to head back to the home place, hook up to the baler, and start baling up our corn stalks. That is probably going to take a very good portion of the day for us to get done. But well worth it when we can get, get them, most of them sold for a big profit. Well, on our way back to the home place, I went ahead and stopped in at the implement dealer and wanted to see if we could get a square baler. Now, I was very disappointed that our Case IH dealer doesn't have a Case IH square baler, at least not a large one. So, very disappointed in that, but they did have this Kloss Quadrant 1200, so I went ahead and bought it. It cost $20,000. Bit expensive if you ask me, but with the amount of money we're making off of our milk, I wasn't going to argue with them too much over it. So I'm going to see if our 1586 will pull it. It should have more than enough power, but well, the 1586 is quite old and quite used, so it just might not have the power anymore. But we're going to go ahead, jump in, get this baler fired up, drop the pickup, and see how this goes. Hopefully this goes significantly faster than, doing our round baling. And, well, if it doesn't, we're now there's nothing we can do about it because we've fully committed at this point. So I'll go ahead, run this baler here, see how things go, and I will catch up to you guys once we get all of this done. Well, we're finally coming up to the end here, getting all of our corn stalks baled up, and Boy, oh howdy, did we get a lot of them. So we're at 425 bales. Go ahead and eject the unfinished bale here, which is so much nicer than, the round baler not being able to do that. So we've got 426 bales we need to get picked up. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of these picked up, and then we can jump right into getting some slurry spread out on these fields. I have no idea how far that'll go, but should hopefully at least get one field done. All right, well, I went ahead and hired up a worker, and they're running the four-wheel drive, spreading slurry in our south field at the moment. And I hooked up the 8950. Wasn't sure if it'd pull this cart or not, but it definitely is pulling it with zero issues, which is fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and spread lime here on the home place field. Get this knocked out. Now, this cart is going to cost us about $900 a load, which, kind of sucks, but it is what it is. We do need the lime. Otherwise, our yield is going to really, really suffer next year. So I'm going to go ahead, get all of this lime spread, get all the slurry spread. I'm really hoping we can cover the entire south field. I'm like 95% sure we won't be able to finish both of these fields, let alone our other fields that are on the other side of the county here. So we'll end up having to put dry fertilizer down for those. But that's okay. I want to get as many acres covered with the slurry as we can, just to save us, as much money as possible here on our inputs. So I'm going to go ahead and hammer all this out, and I will catch up to you guys when we run out of slurry. Hey everyone, welcome into December of 1998. It is a nice snowy morning, very dark, and we've got quite a bit to do this month. So we're going to go ahead and start out, as always, getting our chores done, selling our milk. We've got some cattle that need to be sold, and we're going to go ahead and sell all of our soybeans this month as well. So this should be a pretty profitable month here, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And as you can see, we're at 249 head in this barn. I've already moved all of the cattle around from pen to pen that needed to be moved this month. So that's already taken care of. And with that said, I will go ahead and catch up to you guys when we're ready to sell our milk. All right, we've got 8,443 gallons on this trailer. It is full, and we also have milk that we were not able to get onto this trailer this load. So we will have multiple loads taken down to the creamery today. So we'll get these hauled down there and get the price adjusted accordingly. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this load sold off. And we need to add $1,400. So that brings us to $135,102. And we'll run back to the home place here, reload one more time, and sell off the rest of our milk. All right, we're back down here at the creamery, and we've got 3,680 gallons of milk on. And we'll go ahead and get this sold off and adjust the price accordingly. And we need to add $500. So that brings us up to a grand total of $145,452. Very, very happy with that. Our milk is absolutely killing it right now. Unfortunately, that's about the only thing that's killing it right now. Our beef price is down a little bit from last year. Our soybean and corn prices are also down a little bit. And our hay sales are down a lot of bit this year. It's going to be a rough one selling hay and corn stalks this year, but we got to get them sold regardless. So we're going to head back to the home place here, and we're going to sell off some cattle next. All right, we have 15 head of cattle on this trailer. We'll get these guys run down to the sale barn, get them sold off, and adjust our price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the sale barn, so we'll go ahead and get these 15 heads sold off here. All right, we need to take $27,991 off. So that brings us to $157,754. So not the best beef sale we've ever had. The price of beef is down quite a bit, actually. We just sold those guys for $58 per hundredweight, which is about $10 per hundredweight less than we did last year. So that's rather disappointing. Now, the most disappointing part is coming up next, and that is our alfalfa and stock bales. Those prices are half of what they were last year. So we have a lot more bales, but I don't think we're going to make more money. I do believe we will make less money off of those this year than we did last year, which is frustrating to say the least. But we'll go ahead, get the trailer switched out, get loaded up with some alfalfa, and start getting that sold off. All right, we've got our first trailer load loaded up here. We'll go ahead and get these run down to the bale sale, get them sold off, and adjust our price accordingly. And we have 649 alfalfa bales we're going to be selling this month. That is definitely our most alfalfa bales we've ever sold. Unfortunately, the alfalfa price is down to $108 a bale, which is not great. That is a long ways from the $203 we got last year. So very disappointing in that. And our stock bale price is even worse. We've got 400 of those that we're going to get sold off this month. And that price is only at $50. That is atrocious. So we're going to take a big hit on those. But we need to get them sold off because we definitely can't use that many. And I'm holding back more than I have in any previous year. Mostly because the price is that bad, and it's going to save me on how many bales we have to use next year. Hopefully, the bale price goes up quite a bit next year. Okay, we're down here at the bale sale, so we'll go ahead and get these bales sold off. And we need to take $12,278 off. So that brings us to $162,290. Not bad, but, you know, like I said, quite a bit lower than what we got last year. Now I'm going to go ahead, hurry up, get all of these bales sold. That way we can move into getting our soybeans sold, as we definitely need to get all of those sold this month, or our price is going to go down a little bit, and I do not want that. So we'll get these bales sold off as fast as possible, and I'll catch up to you guys when we are ready to start selling off our soybeans. All right, we officially have all of our bales sold that we wanted to get sold this year. Now, we did make a good profit, but I'm still disappointed. You know, it was basically half of what we got for, you know, per bale last year. But with the amount of bales we made this year, we still made one heck of a profit, and we're at $249,346. So we're going to now loaded with soybeans, and we're going to head down to the co-op, get these sold off, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're getting pulled into the co-op here, so we'll go ahead and get this load of soybeans sold off. And we need to take $31,712 off. So that brings us to $255,446. Now we are selling our beans this month at $5.28 a bushel. So that brings each trailer load to $6,098. We've got quite a few trailer loads to haul here, as we had 315,000 liters. And I'm honestly not sure how many bushels that actually was, because I didn't do the conversion. But it's quite a few trailer loads here. So I will catch up to you guys on the last one as usual, and see how we end up coming out after we get all of our beans sold here. All right, we're pulling into the co-op with our last 869 bushels here. So we'll go ahead and get this sold off and adjust the price accordingly. And we need to take $23,405 off. So that brings us to $296,330. So we're right up there, real close to 300 grand, and I'm very, very happy with that. This is great. Even though prices are down, we're still making a really, really good profit, because we've increased the amount of acres we're farming, therefore increasing the amount of crop we are pulling out of the fields. So that is absolutely fantastic. But I'm going to go ahead and call this an episode. So if you guys like what you're seeing, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode.